the Sky Spirit channel, wherever you are and whenever you're listening to this. If you're listening on the day that this is recorded, it is the 2nd of June. If you catch this at a different date, don't worry about it. Still take the readings, because Spirit has a way of nudging us in the right direction when it comes to receiving messages. So I'm sorry if I've confused anybody with the timings today. I did have this scheduled for 11:30 as I had a doctor's appointment at 10, but that went really quickly, so I've come on at 10:45. I did change it on the listing, but it might be a bit confusing nonetheless, so I do apologise for that. The whole schedule has been really disrupted the last couple of weeks. I do know I haven't been on very much, but moving forward, the plan is to be here 10:30 in the morning, Monday, Wednesday and Friday, because I need a couple of days off in the week as well to get other work done that pays me to do it, so I can pay my rent, etc., and not end up homeless because of my YouTubing obsession. So hopefully looking for some balance. Good morning, KLG, how are you doing? So yeah, I'm looking to maintain a work and life balance moving forward. So good morning. There's a few people, Mr. Steve, and my eyes are so bad. Love yourself. Love yourself first. Good morning. How are you doing? Right, so looking at a little bit of astrology, first of all. I'm going to do the astrology for the next couple of days, because I'm only going to do Monday, Wednesday and Friday moving forward. So today, what we've got is we've got the second quarter moon. So the moon on its second quarter size is in Virgo. Now, what this can mean is you can, it's a day when overthinking is going to be easy today. And it's easy to overanalyze. And I hate being an overthinker. It's a real nightmare, especially when you can't sleep at night for overthinking, and then you can't concentrate in the day for overthinking. And today, with this second quarter moon stuck there in Virgo, it's a real day for that. So if you catch yourself going down those rabbit holes of overthinking, then do try to cut it out and just try to stop it in its tracks, because it's, you know, it's not productive, but it's so easy to do it. It's exhausting though, isn't it? So watch out for overthinking today with that Virgo influence. Now, moving into tomorrow, we've still got the moon in Virgo, but this now forms a square with Mercury in Gemini. So what this means is, because Mercury is all about communication, and Gemini is very quick as well. Gemini is very much about communication. But what we've got there with that square with the moon in Virgo, we've got a conflict going on. So basically, tomorrow's the day to avoid putting your foot in it. So think before you open your mouth. And always remember, because that's affecting you, it's affecting other people as well. So the tensions could be high, and it's a day when, you know, words could fly and things could be said that you might regret later. So do watch out for that tomorrow. So today, overthinking, tomorrow, overspeaking. And that's all to do with that dodgy moon hanging around in Virgo and squaring up with the couple of planets as well. So that was the astrology for the next couple of days. I'm going to have a look. Good morning, Gavin. How are you doing? Oops, I just nearly dropped my cards there. Right, so we're going to move forward with a collective reading. So the collective reading could be, you could be looking at this as a direct reading for yourself. And I love doing these because it's more of a narrative, with it being a full, even though it's a 3 card, it's still a full reading as such. So it could be your reading, or it could be more of an overarching reading. So think about this as when you're sort of browsing the stars in your newspaper, old style newspaper. Do we still have newspapers? When you're browsing the stars online and just looking, you know, in general. Or this could be very directed for you. I always think that if there's a particular message that's got to find somebody, then this is a really good way for that message to get there. And we're all about that. So I'm going to lay the cards down. 1, 2, 3. Okay, interesting. So we've got the Strength card, the 8 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Wands reversed. So this feels like a position where you will have gone through a lot of battles and had to stand your ground an awful lot. But it feels like it's a time when you need to be able to let your barriers down now, because you're in a position where you can move forward. And it feels to me that that moving forward is going to come from either an educational opportunity or an opportunity that involves learning of some sort. So if you are considering taking a course, if you're considering upskilling or starting to study something in particular, it feels to me that this is connected with moving away from feeling very defensive about things and having to stand determined to sort of ignore other people's opinions and things like that. It feels like that influence is moving away because your sort of focus changes to being more on this learning environment and changing skills, up leveling your abilities. It could be something that you already do that you decide to go back to and expand, but whatever it is, what we've got here with the Eight of Pentacles, it's a portal card. So basically what it is this guy is sitting here. He's a stonemason. The tarot loves a stonemason, and he's chipping away making pentacles on bits of stone. And then what he's doing, he's so good that he's progressing through. See this doorway here, he's going to progress through that to the next stage, which is why it's a portal card. So these two cards together say that you're going to be looking to an educational area, something where you're learning skills or improving skills, and that's going to change you. It's going to take you to a new destination. So it's going to take you through a portal. Now this is also coming out the Strength card with this, and it talks about this Strength card. It's a major arcana card, so it's a really big influence, and it talks about inner strength. And I think this is to do with this situation with the Nine of Wands, which was reversed here, and it's to do with you've been through a lot of struggles. There's been a lot of heartache and a lot of holding it together, not just for yourself but for other people. So it's like standing your ground, protecting everybody, and it's that inner strength that got you through this situation. But it's also your inner strength that's going to help you shine through with your new skills. You need to be able to put down your burdens from the past, put down this time of your life when you really had to focus on standing your ground and standing up for other people and being strong all the time. You can relax. It's like you can put down your barriers, move forward, upskill, and rely on that inner strength to move you forward, because it feels like it's a destiny thing with that Strength card. It feels like that was always there. It's always been your path to follow. So those are really interesting cards. If that resonated with you, then do let me know. I'm just going to have a quick read of the chat here. Hi, Namira. I've got you. So you've got a new account. I did see you talking then. I thought, is that not Namira, is it? Okay. Mystic Meg. Thank you, Mr. Steve. LMG, yes, there is white magic spells you can do to save the groups, to save different types of people. There's so many, though, depend very much on your circumstance as to what you use. I'm learning white magic again. I have spiritual blessings since I've, if you feel drawn to white magic, then absolutely give it a go. Be careful what you're studying, be careful with your sources, and work with your best intentions, because for me, magic is simply about energy and focus. It's like the old way of saying manifestation, isn't it? And used with good intention, then it can only be for the good, in my opinion. So moving on to the big part, the finale of the morning show. God, now I sound like I'm on the BBC or something. The morning live. I do a 12, it used to be a 12 card pick a number reading. So I'd put 12 cards down, you pick a number between 1 and 12, focus on your question or keep an open mind and just ask the tarot to give you some guidance, and then you receive, and then I will read through the numbers randomly and you will get your explanation or interpretation from that one card. However, what I'm doing now is I'm putting 2 cards down, and I'm still struggling to find a concise way to describe that. So it's not a 12 card pick a card, it's a 24 card pick a number between 1 and 12 card thing. I don't know, just listen and watch, we'll do it. Okay, so I've got my camera set up over here, so I'm going to put down 12 cards. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then we go around again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so now you choose a number between 1 and 12. If you're doing that, you can choose more than one number here, though. You can have as many numbers as you like. Just choose numbers that resonate with you. Similarly, if you would rather, just listen to the whole reading and choose what resonates for you, or feel what you feel drawn to. It can be that if you have this on in the background, there'll be certain things that stand out for you. Every tarot card and every combination of tarot cards has advice and has a meaning, has a lesson for you. So sometimes, even if you're listening to somebody else's reading or something that isn't particularly for you, you can still use that advice, and it's still relevant. It really is. Right, so we're going to start with number 7 today. So number 7, you have the Lovers reversed, and then you have Temperance reversed. So this indicates that there could be a bit of chaos in your life at the moment, and it's to do with the Lovers can be about a romantic choice and like a romantic temptation coming your way, should we say. But if you're in a committed relationship, you might be thinking, that's not going to happen to me. The Lovers can also indicate a choice that has to be made, because it's a choice between one thing or another, but it feels like you're making this choice from a position of chaos. So these two cards together, they're both major arcana cards, which is a really powerful, impactful duo here. So it feels like this is an important time of your life, but it feels chaotic. And it feels like there's this choice, and it feels like your head isn't clear to make this choice at the moment. So what I would do is I would literally hang back from making this choice. Hang back from any decisions. If you're choosing between two options, even if they are two partners, let's take the Lovers at face value here. If you're choosing between one partner or another, do not make a hasty decision today, okay? Because these two cards reversed just would indicate that the energy around you is tumultuous, it's unsettled, you're not balanced, you're not seeing things clearly. So I would hang back from any major decisions. Similarly, if you're presented over the next couple of days with major decisions that have to be made or choices, then I really would be careful that you don't just jump into something, because like with Temperance, you need to you keep your one foot in the water, which is your emotions, and one foot on the land, which is your earth, which is your practical nature. And this is reversed. So it means that you're not making choices and decisions from that balanced, practical and emotional standing. It's like you're upside down, you're on your head, you're not thinking clearly enough to make important decisions at the moment. So do put them off just for now until this energy changes, if it's at all possible. If you can't put those put any decisions off, then just make sure that you are making those choices from as informed a decision as possible. I'm just reading in the chat from LMG, that's Lisa. Choice between two good men who... Lisa, that is a big choice. Yeah, I would suggest if you chose those cards today, then really literally don't make that decision moving forward over the next 48 hours or so, and just, you know, it's a pros and cons thing, isn't it? It sounds really transactional, but you've got to really think about things moving forward, pros and cons of every choice that we make. Right, number 8. Okay, number 8, you've got the 9 of Swords reversed and the 7 of Pentacles. The 7 of Pentacles is the man weighing on his cabbages card, which is our favourite on this channel. And he's reversed. He was reversed. So what we have here is it feels like you have felt that you're not receiving the payback for some energy that you've put into something that you've worked really hard on, that you thought would pay off, that you thought would give you more back, and it feels like it hasn't really got there, and it's made you feel rather depressed about it. It feels like you've had the knocking stuffed out of you. No, the stuffing knocked out of you. But I quite like the knocking stuffed out of you. It's quite a good one. I like that. So you've had the knocking stuffed out of you by this sort of project or this thing where you've put your energy, where you've put your attention, and you thought it would pay off, but it hasn't paid off as well as you thought it would. So therefore, you're back to this sort of feeling a bit stressed out about it, and feeling sort of that, you know, that disappointed, oh, nothing ever works. But with this card being a reversal, it feels like that energy is changing like now for you. So it feels like you have been really quite depressed and feeling really down, and almost like had some sleepless nights worrying about this particular thing. But moving forward, it feels like you can heal from this, learn from the experience. What was it that went wrong in the project that or the place where you put your energy? What happened? Why didn't it pay off? Try to look at it objectively. What went wrong? What could you have done better? Was it somebody else's fault? If it was, fair enough. But was it your fault? Be honest about it before moving on. But it does feel like this time of real hyper stress about it is moving away from you and enabling you to sort of carry on down the path, if you see what I mean. So it's like one of those, like, don't let it get you down, put it down to experience type of readings, that one. Number six, you've got the Knight of Cups. Wow, look at this. The Knight of Cups and the Two of Cups. Love is in the air if you chose number 6. Now, let's have a little disclaimer here about love, because we say love and we think about romance, don't we? We think about the knight in shining armor, which is our Knight of Cups here. Just look how resplendent he is on his white horse, riding in, all full of love and romance. So we think about love like that. But there's also the love that we have for our friends, our family, even ourselves. And it's a sort of very dynamic thing, isn't it, love? It's an energy in itself. However, these two cards, this is our Knight in Shining Armor. This is a Two of Cups. Look at the couple on here. This is the card of sort of harmony in partnerships. So these two cards together, to me, would say if you're single, then prepare to mingle big time, because it feels like what you've been waiting for could be just on the horizon, just about to arrive. Now, I don't feel like this is going to be like today, tomorrow, but it feels like this person is approaching from the peripheral vision sort of your energetic field. If you can imagine you in the middle, which is now, and then all these things that are going to happen or that have happened sort of in this sort of ether around you. And it feels like this Knight in Shining Armor is already within that sphere, but isn't quite close enough yet. So it's probably difficult to identify him or her, but I've just realised, because my camera's autofocus, every time I put the cards forward, the camera goes, ah, never mind. Another technical thing for me to work out at some point. So it feels like he's on his way, or she's on her way, or they're on their way, but they're not quite there yet. But it feels like this is going to be a relationship and a half. Now, if you're thinking, I don't want another relationship, I've already found the person of my dreams, and this would signal a new part of a new stage of that relationship moving forward, which is harmonious. But it also indicates a more committed stage. If you look at these two people here, they're sort of exchanging vows, however you see that from whatever sort of religion or whatever you're from, whether that's, you know, hand fasting or marriage or whatever you call it, or an engagement, then it feels like this is upping the ante of a relationship. So if you're single and you're looking for new love, expect that to arrive. And when I say expect it, like, wait for it, manifest it, expect it to be there, because it's there. It's really in your energetic influence, okay? And it's looking like it could be a significant partnership, a significant life partnership. If you're already with somebody else, then expect your relationship to improve or perhaps move to a new committed level. And if you're happy by yourself, then this could be a relationship that you weren't expecting, perhaps, or it could be a friend, it could be, you know, just a soulmate. Doesn't need to be necessarily a romantic partner, does it? But it could just as easily be you moving into a stage where your self-love becomes far more important to you, and you commit more to feeling that sense of self-love and being able to be comfortable in your own skin, which is so important. And so many people struggle with that, like, for most of their lives. So I wish you well. If those cards resonate with you, then do let me know. Number 5. Okay, so number 5, you've got the Page of Cups, and then you've got the Chariot reversed. The Page of Cups is about creative magic. So it's like having the drive to do something creative, a new inspiration to move forward. It feels like new ideas. It feels like this sort of magic, youthful energy in the air, okay? But there's also this Chariot reversed, which is really interesting, because it feels like you might have the inspiration to do something creative, to jump into something new, but there's a stumbling block. There's something holding you back and stopping that project from getting underway, and it feels like you need to eliminate a problem before you can move forward with this new creative inspiration. So these two cards together for me would say, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you're inspired to do? Where is your heart? What makes your heart sing? Okay, what was it that you'd really, really like to do? And what's standing in your way of that? And what's stopping you from moving forward? Chariot reversed. It's like literally, this could mean that your car's going to break down. But teaming it with the Page of Cups, I'm looking at it as meaning that it's something that's stopping you progressing, stopping you moving forward, like a metaphorical broken down car. It's stopping you from reaching this new place of being able to move forward with this inspiration, with this magic, with this romance even in your life. So it's important for you because this is a major card. It's a major block, and you're not going to be able to move forward with this inspiration, with this creativity, until you get rid of the block. So it's important to identify this and to eliminate it. So it's it's really, really interesting to look at these two cards together, because this is such a positive card for moving forward, and this is also a positive card in general, but it's indicating in its reversed status that it's a blockage that's stopping you from achieving the full potential of your page here. So identify that block and get rid of it, because nobody's going to do it for you. And we sometimes go through our whole lives carrying these blocks that stop us from doing the things that would make us happy. And so we need to identify them and eliminate them, because life is too short to stop doing things. For whatever reason that is. If it's in your heart to do, find out what's stopping you from doing it and go for it. Number four. Okay, so we've got the Four of Wands reversed, and then we've got the Six of Pentacles reversed as well. So this isn't a very positive reading, number four, if I'm honest. Number four, what this looks like is this is the card of giving and receiving, and it feels like things have been a bit unbalanced. Four is about stability. With its reversed, it's unbalanced. And the Four of Wands is very much about domestic stability. So it feels like your home life has been shook up, or your domestic life has been shook up. And it's because there's been an imbalance in finances or giving and receiving. So somebody's giving too much and somebody's taking too much without giving back. Or there's sort of lending that goes one way and money isn't returned, but it feels very unbalanced from a practical point of view. And this is like ricocheting around the rafters of your home and causing some upset. So it feels like there are some financial issues that you're going to need to sort out in order to feel that balance return to your home life and to your sort of general sense of well-being. It feels like there's some worries on your mind to do with this. If you look at the card of the Six of Pentacles, it's a man handing out his riches from his purse to these two people in need. And he's also carrying a pair of scales, because it's about balance. It's about sort of sharing out the wealth and people having what is due to them. And because this is reversed, along with the card about domestic stability being reversed as well here, it feels like this is financial instability, which is causing problems for you sort of in your home life or in your sort of interior well-being, if you know what I mean. Inside you, it feels like imbalanced, and it's to do with the fact that there's a financial unbalance, or you're not being paid what you should have been paid, or there's like this worry that money's not in the right place. So you need to address that in order to go back to the full energies of these cards, which, if we look at them the right way up in their true form, you've got giving and receiving, so balanced money, and you've got stability. So it's like achieving that sense of, okay, I can breathe, I'm all right at the minute. Okay, even when money's tight, sometimes we're in that place where we know what's going out and what's coming in, and even though it's tight, we still got that sense of being in control. It feels like you might feel a little bit out of control, so perhaps spending some time juggling the finances, looking at what's going out, what's going in. Can you cut some corners? Are there some different things that you can do? Number one, you've got the World card, and you've got the Seven of Cups reversed. So the Seven of Cups reversed, talking about stopping the fantasies, okay? Because it feels this card can mean like dreams and delusions, all right? And it can talk about sort of not knowing which way to go, what choice to take, because you're deluding yourself about what your choices are and what the opportunities are. And with this being upside down, with it being reversed, it feels like you're really being encouraged here to get sort of very, very narrow focused on what choices that you want to make and casting out anything that is a delusion. So what is it that are, what ideas are just fantasy in your head? And we've all got them, haven't we? Like, oh, this time next year, Rodney will be millionaires. You know, that sort of, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this next. Or think about these things realistically. Are you spreading yourself too thinly? Have you been thinking ahead rather than focusing on the present and focusing on realistic choices? Have you been being in a bit of a dream mode and sort of fantasizing about, oh, I could do this, or maybe I'll change, maybe I'll do that, maybe I'll do this? And it feels like you've been in a little bit of a dream state about that. And now this is a bit of a kick in the butt to say, all right, let's get rid of these fantasies. Let's focus on narrow focus on achieving your goal, because that takes you to the completion. This is one of the best cards in the tarot deck. The World is about the completion of cycles and the successful completion of cycles. You see this lady or man, she's sort of both. She's sort of dancing there, so, and it indicates that she is happy. It's the successful completion of a cycle of energy, and it's to do with the fact that you've basically taken the right choice by eliminating the ones that were fantasy, that you were deluding yourself about, and it leads you down the right path. It leads you down, I like to think about like the strings in our life, or the sort of silks of our life, all making a big weave. I think this comes from reading Clive Barker's Weave World when I was a kid. But if I remember, it's all about, you know, every single strand of your life is in this huge weave, and we pull on some strands, we pull on others, and they move each other. You can see them interacting. And every single thing has an event line. That's how I see it in my mind's eye. And when you come to the end of one of those strings, that's one of the world's completion. That's one of the cards that indicates you come to the end of one of these strings. So it feels like you need to stop deluding yourself, look at what your choices are and be practical. Take the practical choice in this case, okay? Get rid of the pie in the sky for the moment, because the practical choice is leading you to the completion, to the pass, go, collect £200, you have reached the final destination in a good way, okay? So try to remember that over the next couple of days. Try to eliminate any choices that are more like delusions. Right, number 2. Right, ooh, 8 of Wands, Tower reversed. Brilliant. So we've got something happening very quickly here, and it looks like you have averted a major disaster, and it feels like things moved very quickly towards this position, and you had to make some snap decisions. But it feels like the decisions that you've made, or that you're going to make over the next 48 hours, excuse my dogs barking in the background as usual. So the decisions that you're going to make over the next 48 hours are going to avert something going wrong. So it's really important that you don't lose focus over the next 48 hours, that you use, this indicates that you've got a real mercurial ability to make these decisions at the moment. It's not one of those times when you're sort of dilly-dallying and like, oh, should I do this or should I not do this, or, you know, is it better that I go down this route, or perhaps I need to try something else. This indicates that you're not feeling like that. You're like, right, this is going to be this is going to be that, this is what I'm going to do. So maintain this mindset. Do not lose your focus, because the decisions that you're making at the moment are averting a situation that would be changing in a negative way. It's also, this can also indicate stagnation, so like negative energy being stuck as well. So teaming it with this card, your 8 of Wands, it's like, make those decisions, make them fast, because you're actually getting out of this negative situation. You're moving away from the Tower influence by the quality of the decisions and the speed with which you make these decisions. So it's like, if you we're given a choice. Okay, don't dilly dally, don't wait, oh, I'll give it, a week, I'll get back to you in a week. Make the decision that feels right to you and make it over the next 48 hours. Okay, so don't hang around on things because it feels like there's a lot of energy around you which is quite disruptive, which can be avoided by following these arrows, these thought arrows and action arrows, which take you past the tower, which is reversed, indicating that we're moving past it. Number three. Ooh, wow, that's really interesting. Two major arcana cards. We have the Devil and we have the Sun. So this is really, really interesting. Indicates that this, for you, number three, if three's resonating with you, if you've chosen number three, then this is a really powerful time for you at the moment. And it feels like you're on a massive crossroads. One way is tempting, okay, but could be a little bit darker, okay, but it feels so exciting, yeah. But the other way is the harder way, but it's a brighter way. It's sort of, so you've got one way into darkness and one way into light, and that's really quite literal looking at the cards that I have in my hand, but they're so sort of polar opposites that it's really an interesting duo to have picked up. And it feels like, that's why I'm saying, it feels like you are at a crossroads. You've got a choice to make between the dark side and the light side. So it feels like you are Luke and Leia in Star Wars at the moment. You have to choose, are you going to be with the good or the dark? What's it called? The dark side. Yeah, that's it. So you've got to make that decision, dark side or light side. Now, sometimes it feels like the dark side can feel that much more exciting. So there's like, it could feel like really thrilling to go down this path, but these cards are warning you that this isn't any good, because on the other hand, the other path that you could take, although it might not feel as exciting or be as easy, leads you to a far better place. And if you see, this card has the child riding the horse, and like the child is yay, like all carefree and galloping off into the sunset, because again, good morning, Helena, how are you doing? Again, this is a card of completion. So it's like teaming it with the Devil. You've got choices which are life-changing, choices which one seems really exciting, but you could be deluding yourself if you go down that path and it doesn't feel like it would lead to a successful completion for you, because the other side of that coin, yeah, the other path that you could choose leads to a completion card, okay, which is a far lighter path as well, but it doesn't feel as exciting. So it might be the choice between, for a man, I always try and like think about a real world explanation. You might have, good morning Mandy, how are you doing? You might have a choice between two different jobs, okay? So one of them was like something that you'd never done before but seemed exciting, a little bit thrilling, a little bit out of your reach, or something that you hadn't tried before but you weren't quite sure about it. There wasn't a regular wage, and on the other hand, you might be offered a small promotion at work, and it seems like, yeah, not as exciting as that option, but it's a steadier option. And these two cards, if you're in, that's just like a really literal explanation, but these cards would mean in that situation, don't take that lot harder path, okay, because you're deluding yourself and it's not going to work out. Take the harder path, and the reward is at the end. It does lead towards a completion, and it is a favorable one. It just doesn't seem as exciting when you team it with the temptations that the Devil can offer. Because let's face it, if things weren't exciting when we were tempted by them, we wouldn't be tempted by them. That's why they're called temptations. But they often lead to darker places than taking the path in the light. So bear that in mind if you've chosen number three, or if that resonates with you and you've got some kind of decision to make in the next 48 hours, which offers a path of light and a path of dark. Right, number 12. Number 12, beautiful cards. I love this card. My favorite card, the Death card. Do not run screaming. It does not mean you're going to die. And we've also got the Eight of Cups. So these two cards are really clear when they're teamed together, because the Death card is about getting rid of things which should be dead to you, wiping the slate clean, transformative energy, burning out the dead wood, moving forward, drawing a line in the sand, leaving behind those people and things that no longer serve us, okay? They're dead to you. We chuck them away. That was, why did I say we like that? That was very odd and cringy. But it means get rid of them, okay? Get rid of them. And also, have a look at this card. If you can see this, oh, my autofocus is so annoying, isn't it? That the Eight of Cups, I love this illustration. It's this guy and he turns his back on those cups and he walks away from them and he heads towards the mountains. So these two cards teamed together really mean that it's time to put something to bed and walk away and don't look back, because you're heading for the mountains. When you see mountains in tarot, it's about challenges, but it's also about climbing to the top of something. And then you can look back on the decisions that you've made and on the choices that you've made, the decisions that you've made, but also on the journey that you've taken. You look back at it from above, you know, from the top of the mountain, and you can see all the little choices and the little things that went wrong and the things that went right. But you look at it objectively because you're looking at it from above, you're removed from it. So you can sort of give yourself credit for what went right and also forgive yourself for what went wrong. So these two cards team together. Something needs to go. You need to move on. You need to walk away without looking back, because you're heading for a so much better place. You're going to get to the top of these mountains. You're going to look back and it's like you won't know why you didn't make this choice and leave this thing behind like long ago. Okay, so it's time. It's a real card cutting. It's a cord cutting card duo. That was quite difficult to say. So the cord cutting card duo says leave that thing behind, head for the mountains, because it's going to be the best decision that you've ever made. Number 11. Number 11, I have for you the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords reversed. Here we have Mr. and Mrs. Swords paying us a visit. Now, isn't that unusual to have these two together? So what I'm going to say with these, this would indicate that there is trouble in a partnership, trouble at home, trouble in a relationship between a masculine and a feminine energy. Okay. One of them is very pushy. They're both quite manipulative. One of them can be very disruptive. It's like they're one up in each other, like vying for top dog position. And it feels that this is holding you back. This is causing a real disruption in energy. This sort of, it feels like if you were doing it at work, it'd be somebody that you kept clashing with, you keep clashing with all the time, and you can't seem to move forward. If this was in a relationship at home, it would be like, you know, when you get into one of those things with a partner where you have the same argument over and over and over again, and it's never resolved, and it just becomes like part of your relationship, and it's like it never seems to be addressed because neither of you know really what the solution is. This is this energy. It's like you're at loggerheads. Look at these, like fighting loggerheads here. They're just like, they can't agree. It's like black and white, white and black, black and white, white and black, and it's causing this real blockage. So these two cards together to me would say you need to look at where this disruptive partnership energy is around you. Who is it that you're clashing with? Who is it that's holding you back? This King of Swords reversed as well can be so disruptive. It can also indicate somebody who's angry or difficult to approach or confrontational, and you just sort of bounce off them. They're so spiky that every time you try and get close to them, you bounce off them and you're pricked by their spikes. So it's like you need to identify where this energy is in your life and then try to resolve the energies, because if we put these two cards the right way up together, they are of course the King and Queen of Swords, and they are the intellectual sort of goal achieving, winning, go getting couple who basically can achieve anything they set their minds to, because they've got like the mind power and the tenacity and the ability. They're very, 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 very strong couple. But with one of them, particularly the King of Swords upside down, it feels like you can't get to that place where those energies are matched and moving forward and they're bouncing off each other positively, because there's this constant disagreement, constant clashing. Could be jealousy as well involved there, and sticking the knife into each other. So it needs to be resolved somehow. So if that resonates with you, let me know what that's about if you can. You can, if you don't want to put it in the chat, you can always email me, naomi@skyspirit.co.uk. If you were interested in a personal reading, you can also visit my website to look at how you can book one of those. I'm also an artist. If you're new to this channel, then I do this because I actually like illustrate cards for various publishers, etc. So If you have a look on my website, you'll see my artwork as well. So that's skyspirit.co.uk. Right, I'm trying to turn over cards and talk and think at the same time, and it's all falling apart in my head. Right, number 10. Right, so we have got the Knight of Swords reversed, and then we have got the, is that my Emperor? Gosh, my eyes are really bad. Yes, he's the Emperor. Okay, so these are really interesting cards because this is like the light and the dark side of the same personality. So we've got, from one point of view, you've got it feels like you've been rushing into something, ready for battle. So our Knight of Swords reversed is somebody, if this card was a person, it would be the kind of person who would run into a bar in the Wild West and sort of chuck all the bar stools out of the bar through the saloon doors, and then like bang, bang, pistol from the belt and like eliminate half the bar, and then down a quick cowboy drink or whatever that is, and then like leave through the saloon doors, bang, and they clatter behind him. That's the Knight of Swords reverse. So that sort of rushing in, sorting everything out, going out energy. And it feels like this has been you, but it hasn't been very successful for you, okay? Because what we have is the Emperor card as well, and this is saying that it's an indication that you need to channel your energy, channel the Knight energy into being the creative, nurturing energy of the Emperor, okay? So it's like rushing in, guns blazing, hasn't got you what you want, all right? You need to try a different approach, and that different approach is indicated by our Emperor, and the Emperor is about stability. So it's not about rushing in. He's about taking your time, making a plan, thinking things through, thinking of consequences. He would be, if he was a person, he would like be a Russian chess champion who sits there, you know, like just looking at the board, deciding on those moves before they actually just like go, I'll just pick that up and stick it there, which is how I play chess. So, and it never works. So you need to be the chess master. You need to be somebody who's working out their moves about a particular situation rather than just rushing in gung-ho, trying to sort it out by force and by just like force of character, force of will, trying to get it done. No, what you need to do is draw back and be that nurturer, plant the seeds and wait for them to grow. Be patient. The Emperor is a gardener as well, and a metaphorical gardener will plant seeds, will nurture them with water, with warmth and darkness, which is what seeds need. And then as they grow, they'll be, you know, they'll be fed and they'll be nurtured to become full ideas. And that's what the Emperor is about. It's not about that energy of just running in and trying to get things done by force. Okay, so be the Emperor. You'll have a much better result to the current situation that you're trying to grow. So think about, what is it that you're trying to grow in your garden? All right. The Knight of Swords would probably be like a massive dose of super strength miracle grow, which would probably burn your seedlings out. The Emperor would use horse manure and organic fertilizer and would use a gently rainwater. Beautiful plants would grow steadily, but much bigger, with much bigger flowers. That was an analogy. I wasn't quite sure where that was going. But if you get my point there, this, what I'm trying to say is draw back, don't go in guns blazing. Use that nurturing creative energy instead to achieve what you want to. And finally, number 9. And how is it I often end on number 9? It's not intentional. I don't know why that happens. Number 9. Oh, that's so nice. So to finish with number 9, we've got the 3 of Cups and the 4 of Cups. So these are beautiful cards, and we've got cups here. So we're thinking about emotions. They're both an upright card. So we're talking about positive things here. Now, the 4 of Cups can be a card of, it's like when you've been feeling a bit bored. So this would indicate you've been feeling bored, or just like you haven't got the opportunities that you want, or like you're contemplating what to do next, feeling that you might have missed some opportunities, like, you know, when you're dwelling on the past and thinking, I wish I'd done this, I wish I'd done that, you know. So it feels like there's been this period of contemplation or procrastination. You can also, it's also a time when you might have, and if you can see the illustration on this card, I'm trying not to shove these too close to the camera. I'm going to do it anyway, because when I do that, I've noticed when I do that, the camera, I didn't do it that time. So it's an autofocus anyway. But Excuse my blethering this morning. So, but what this person is doing, they're sitting, they've got their back to a tree, and behind them, there's this hand coming through the cloud of confusion, offering this cup, which is an opportunity, an emotional opportunity, but they're ignoring it. So they're missing that opportunity. And it feels like there's been this period of boredom, missing opportunities, not knowing quite which way to go. However, along comes our Three of Cups. Now, this is a card about celebration and joy. So to me, the interpretation of these two cards together indicate that the time of boredom and contemplation is coming to an end, because it feels like a choice that you have made, okay, something that you weren't sure of at first, or something that you might have felt that you missed at first, is coming to fruition, and it's something to celebrate. Now, because this is cups, it's likely to do with your feelings or emotions, so it can be to do with a relationship, but if it's not a relationship, it's something that makes your heart sing. So it's something that you've got a lot of emotion tied into. So whatever it is that you've tentatively decided to try, it feels like you're on the right path. You've made a really good choice, and you're moving into a period now where things have got more energy. And this card is these three ladies with their drinks in the air, and they're dancing around in a circle, because it's about celebrating life and celebrating the decisions and choices that you've made and the progress that you've made, and also celebrating the fact that we have periods of downtime in our life. And just remember that when you have those, it's going to pick up again. You just have to sit under your metaphorical tree and wait for the cup of opportunity to be handed to you again, because as sure as the sun sets, then it will rise in the morning. So you've just got to get through that time in order to get back to the celebration. It feels like that is where you are now. So enjoy the next sort of stage of your energy life here. So, and Mandy, that was you, number 9. So I hope that is relevant to you. Right, did I have any questions? Let's have a look. I hope you enjoyed that reading anyway, and I hope some of it resonated. If it did, let me know. If it didn't, let me know as well if you want. Right, excuse my squinty eyes while I try and see the chat. My eyes are getting so bad so quickly now. Lisa, I will share some magical resources, but not on this channel this morning, because it's about tarot, this little live that I do. So, but I will be looking at putting some other resources, some other witchcraft resources and magical resources online as well, because I am a practicing witch. So I'd like to share some of that too. Sorry about this. I'm still going down all the comments here. I can't see any questions, so yep, I think I haven't missed any questions. I don't think there have been any. So thank you for being with me this morning. I'm going to be doing this week, Monday, Wednesday and Friday, just so I've got a couple of days off in the week to do some paid work, which is really boring, but you know, we've got to do it to pay the rent, etc. So I'm going to be doing that because you know, it takes it out of you doing this 5 days a week. So I've decided to go down to the 3 days for the moment. Of course, when I get loads of subscribers, and I'll be able to, YouTube will then stick adverts on the beginning and end of the recordings, I believe, and I'll get a little bit of revenue from it, which will enable me to do it a bit more without, you know, jeopardizing like being able to pay the bills. So I shall look forward to that time. So if you are not subscribed, then please do subscribe and ask your friends and family to do so too. I shall see you on Wednesday. Have a lovely day and stay weird.